Hello everyone, Chris back again with you in Game Zone. Looks like fate is repeating itself once again, but this time in a title which I barely have interest to play or even show footage of, Battlefield V. Its support has officially ended, as posted by developers over at DICE. In today's video I'd like to discuss how everything came to such terms, how I guessed it would end in this kind of way, and of course some of my opinions on this matter. Ever since 2018, the day I witnessed that pathetic reveal for Battlefield V, the scripted event featuring that late night show Cringelord, the abysmal reveal trailer, and of course the drama that surrounded this game, I knew it would flop. This garbage ending in such a tone shouldn't surprise anyone, and honestly said, is deserved. Instead of taking in consideration the community that plays this franchise, developers turn over to folks that remotely don't care about their products. I'm not going to cover all of the fundamental things in this video, since many of those have been covered in previous uploads on the channel, such as that majestic rant and the deep dive from 2 years ago. DICE in full glory hit the bed with this one. Battlefield V is a sword to the eyes, and comparing it to Battlefield 1 has no sense whatsoever. I have no idea what struck these developers in creating this awful garbage, later to scrap lots of ideas and replace them with something else entirely. From the beginning I was disappointed in what these folks provided me, and even then I was lucky to cancel my pre-order, as the game would be cut off 50% a week after launch. Not only that, the release was basically two factions fighting on mediocre locations, with content directly copied from Battlefield 1. And even then, with the next updates, I've seen only copy-pasta from World War 1, sometimes in worse quality. I witnessed lies over and over again, even if I didn't own the product. Major expansions like Fall of Europe got cancelled and replaced by horrible chapters. Firestorm, which nobody was hyped for, was also killed by EA's greediness and not going free to play. Features such as Soldier Dragging, which was cancelled after being postponed countless times. Vehicle customization, which I kid you not, released like half a month ago. While Battlefield 4 had this kind of thing at launch. That real-life currency, Battlefield Coins, which was supposed to support the game, also got pushed back and released a year after launch. Probably the most ridiculous thing I witnessed was the cancelling of that competitive experience which DICE LA spent a year to develop. I can still go on like this, since the game's fundamentals are weak and everything is held together by spit and tape. It can't even compete with older entries in this franchise, Battlefield 2 mods even beating its graphical settings, a part the franchise was renowned back in the days. And now, we are at the endline. The final update for this title is coming out on 29th April 2020, and that is the official date when this thing goes, quotes, golden. Looking at this title today, you can barely say it's a full experience. It's more leaning towards beta testing builds I've seen back in the glory days of this franchise. Unlike World War I predecessor, I won't miss this travesty at all. Taking a dump on community for trying to help you build the game, lies and fake advertisements, cancelling features out of nowhere, it all sums up in a negative aura the game received, which ultimately led to its downfall. Even with such things making the game more, quotes, authentic, the don't like it, don't buy it statement had its tribute to the downfall. This so-called support was bound to finish one day or another, but I didn't expect it to be so sudden like this. The development finished, and everyone that was playing this garbage got 2 theaters of war, Pacific and Western fronts, with some small cameos from North Africa. No Eastern Front for you fellas, even if that was the most important part of World War II itself. Personally, I think Battlefield 5 is a huge disappointment, and left a huge scar on this franchise, the community, and a bigger one on myself. YouTubers covering this title are falling in numbers as I speak. Communities have vanished from these games, and the most disappointing thing was probably the loss of Battlefield friends, icons of Battlefield games back in the days. As you can see, everything truly fell apart, and I think from here on out, the reception of the next titles won't be the same anymore. My friends have moved on entirely from this franchise, and some of them do have nostalgic moments about fun times in Battlefield 3 and 4. And those epic moments the iconic formula provided us has now transitioned to Call of Duty, and everyone started moving towards that franchise now. So what's the point of this game anymore if the competitor has done it 10 times better? This title put the community through an ordeal, and honestly I don't blame people for just dumping everything and moving on to something else. It's EA's fault for providing broken garbage of a product, and later allowed dumbasses like Patrick Soderland say things like, don't like it, don't buy it. Well, people done what these idiots told them. They didn't buy it. Henceforth, the game has flopped, both in content support and in a community standpoint. These are my final words related to this title in the franchise. Unlike Battlefield 1, I'll never return to play this garbage ever again. Seeing DICE concentrating powers in the next titles does bring me some hopes, but those are lower than ever. Everyone moves on, finding safe haven in other titles, like me with Insurgency Sandstorm. At first it was weird thing to move on, but now going through this experimental era, I accept this weird fate. Goodbye Battlefield 5. Nobody will miss you, and I'm glad your travesty of a journey is finally over. This was Chris. See you next time.